G'day cheeky dogs, my name's Margie and I'm an Australian currently living in America. Today's video is going to be a Bluey Season 1 breakdown of the episode Horsey Ride, or sometimes confused as being called Horsey Wedding. I really enjoyed this episode from Season 1, so I'm super excited to show you all the Easter eggs and Aussie references and animation errors as well that I found in this episode. But if you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as that bell for notifications, so then you know anytime I release any Bluey content. With that being said, let's get into all of the things that I found out in this episode Horsey Ride. And the first one, of course, is the biggest animation error that, again, is constantly popping up in Facebook groups and Reddit, and that is the fact that Bandit, when they're going down the aisle, is missing the blue markings on his face. It is one of the most popular animation errors that people pick up on because it's quite noticeable, I feel, and I definitely think makes it into this list as one of the most important things that you might see in this episode. The next one isn't an animation error, but it's more of like a dubbing error. So in the entrance scene, when Chili is talking to Socks and Socks bites her, you see Chili's mouth move, but no words come out, at least in the English version.
Hello, Socks.
So what's happened in the English version, later on it cuts to the scene where you see Socks running off and you hear Chili's voice saying far out.
Far out.
Which is when that should have been matched up with her actual speaking. So kind of an animation dubbing error there. But a really interesting fact is that in the Spanish version of this, Chili doesn't say far out. She says that Socks is wild or savage. So I'm really curious, for those of you who aren't watching Bluey in English, let me know what Chili says in that comment section down below, because I would love to know. Our third kind of Easter eggs is finding out Socks has a nickname, and that is Rock Socks. We hear Stripe calling her this a lot throughout season 1, 2, and 3. And of course, also this whole episode is about Socks still being kind of like a wild or savage dog, as they said in the Spanish version. So we see her biting and growling and barking. Some real Aussie words that get used here is g'day. So when Trixie comes in the door, she says g'day to Bluey and Bingo, but only hello to Bandit. So I'm wondering if sometimes there's a bit of tension between the two of them. Of course, the other most iconic word is the word thongs. So in Australia, thongs means flip-flops or jandals or sandals or pluggers, whatever you would like to call it around the world. But the word thongs is very Australian. However, of course, it means something totally different in other countries, to the point that even in the UK, this one section is actually just cut out completely. But it's not on Disney Plus in America. So I'm curious. Rewatch this episode for me, guys, in your country, and let me know if that scene is cut out in the comment section down below. Now, our next big Easter egg, of course, is the toys. I've mentioned this before, but Polly Puppy, our main toy for this episode, is definitely an Easter egg reference to Pound Puppies, a very popular 90s toy and TV show, where they also had a little love heart on them as well, just like Polly Puppy does on her chest. And the other kind of toy that I want to mention that I haven't mentioned before is the ladybug toy that we see. Something interesting about this ladybug is the fact that it has a blue head, not a typical black head, and I think then that maybe it's an Easter egg reference to the TV show The Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, because she's got blue hair, so maybe it's a bit of a reference to that. Now we also have all of our traditional Easter eggs in here, the tennis ball, the long dogs, and the pineapples, and multiples of each of them as well. We see 3 tennis balls, 2 in the entranceway, and then 1 next to the tile deck outside. We then see 3 long dogs, 2 of them are in the bench in the playroom, and then we also have another one on the shelves in the playroom as well. And we have 2 pineapples that we spot, a backpack pineapple, as well as the decor item as well in the living room. We get some really cool references to Australian sports. The first one, of course, is hockey, which is a super popular sport, especially for females in Australia as well. So we see that Chili and Trixie are going off to play hockey, and I just love the details that they put with their hockey sticks and hockey bags of this. So the hockey bag and stick that Chili has is the green and yellow colors for Australia, but also they're the exact same styles as the Australian Hockeyroos team. We see the exact same bag and hockey stick as well. So maybe Chili used to play for the Hockeyroos when she was younger. Trixie as well has a different style. She has a black, orange, and blue style stick, which could be like a JDH stick, but it could also mean that maybe she played for the Brisbane Valley hockey team as well, because that's also their colors. Our next Aussie sport that's referenced is cricket. The guys mentioned that they want to watch it on TV, and then we do actually see it on TV as well, and you can tell that it is an Australia versus India game based on the color of their helmets. The green helmet is the ones that the Australian team wears, and the blue ones are the one that the India team wears.
Cheeky dogs, if you've been enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up down below and leave a comment. It really means a lot to me into helping build my channel, and the YouTube gods also seem to like channels that have lots of likes on them as well.
We have one Aussie food reference, and that is passion fruit. Passion fruit is really, really popular, especially in Queensland. It's a very tropical environment, and we find out that the girls spilt passion fruit on Polly Poppy last time. Now, one of the names that we have for the horsies in this is Galahop, which is the name for Bandit, and we find out that this is actually maybe a popular name that the girls use for Horsey Ride a lot, because Bingo also uses this exact same name in the season 3 episode Chess, where she names her little horse Galahop. And of course, I think that's a bit of a reference to Sir Galahad, who was a famous knight who rode on a horse. Now, another really cool Easter egg is house items that we never, ever see again. The first one is the actual tile deck that we see them sort of climbing onto at the very start of the episode. We never see that outdoor tile deck ever again. I don't know what happened to it. I do have a bit of a theory about the Healer House being like Hogwarts, so I'm gonna do a video on that eventually. But the other thing we never see again is the piano that we see at the very end of this episode in a one quick flash scene. We never see that piano ever again. Now, we do get a possible extended family reference as well. Muffin makes a comment about how she puts away all of her special toys when my cousins come over. Now, of course, she could be referencing Bluey and Bingo here by saying my cousins, so we know it's more than one. But there is also the possibility that she's maybe referencing cousins on Trixie's side of the family. I do have a family tree video up about Trixie's side of the family, and I do believe that she does have a brother who looks a little bit like Stripe, not completely. But if you want to check that out, I'll leave a description down below and put a little card up here as well. So the next little bit of interesting information we find out is that in the Blueyverse, only dogs can talk. The girls make a really big point about the fact that horses cannot talk in the Blueyverse, which again is kind of like this funny reference that comes back up in season 3 when we do actually see a talking horse. We also get the iconic line of "do it properly." This line pops up a lot throughout the seasons, just like For Real Life does as well. The most iconic time that it pops up, of course, is in the episode Dad Baby. And something that I just love in this episode, of course, is the commitment that Bandit and Stripe have to this. Not only the fact that they are perfectly fine with breaking the idea of gender stereotypes and both of them being males, being married to each other. So definitely, I think, a bit of a Easter egg or hint or reference towards the idea of gay marriage. But also the fact that they just like fully commit for this, to the point where Bandit's outside by himself while the girls are inside chasing Socks and Stripe around. But he's out there just chatting away to himself about how it's the worst day of his life that his husband has left him at the aisle. So I love that that's such an interesting thing, that like he's that committed that he just keeps going on about it even when the kids aren't around. And that's one of the reasons that I do really love this episode as well, is because we get to see the dads being really involved in the play with the girls, not caring about the fact that one of them has to pretend to be a wedding wife, I guess, and a wedding husband. They're just doing it for the kids. They don't care about it. And I just really love that. I think it's so special and awesome to see, and it's something that Bluey tries to do a lot with breaking a lot of these stereotypes. And of course, there has been a bit of speculation that maybe there will be another horsey wedding in season 3, although of course I think the actual wedding in season 3 is going to be Uncle Rad and Aunt Frisky. But what would you guys give this out of 5 long dogs? For me, it's a 4.5 long dogs out of 5. There was loads of animation errors and Easter eggs and a couple of Aussie references with the sports as well. So I really love when we have a massive episode like this filled with all these little Easter eggs. But let me know what you guys think down below, and if there's any other Easter eggs that you spotted, also let me know in that comment section down below. For those of you overseas in other countries that don't speak English, I would love to know what the dialogue is in these scenes, and if that scene is cut from where Muffin says thongs as well. I would be super interested to find out. But until then, I've picked out a few other videos that maybe you guys would like to watch, and I will see you cheeky dogs in another video. Mwah! Bye!